This episode is brought to you by Whitaker Garage Doors, your one-stop shop for all things garage doors, proudly based in Peekskill, New York. Your home is a direct reflection of your personal style, and let's face it, your garage doors are the first thing people see when they pull up your driveway. Whether you're looking for the timeless charm of a classic carriage house door or the clean, sleek look of a basic wood finish, Whitaker Garage Doors offers traditional options for every taste and budget. I can personally vouch for their incredible service. When I had my own garage doors done, I was blown away by their timeliness, professionalism, and overall respect for their clients. Jonathan, Cassara, and their entire team are top-notch, and they really go the extra mile to ensure you're happy with the final result. So if you're in the market for a new garage door or need some repairs, give them a call or find them on Instagram at Whitaker_doors. Don't forget to tell them you're a friend of Dave's over at the No Snooze podcast. Whitaker Doors. You won't regret it. Now, back to the Epi. Adversity? Bring it. The struggle? I welcome it. Snooze on life? Never that. I am Dave Regina, and this is the No Snooze podcast. Come on. Welcome back, No Snooze Podcast, episode 240. As always, I'm in the booth. We have a wonderful three today. We have Claudio the Voice, Valenzuela, Celeste Moore, and I am Dave the Body Regina. Celeste Moore is a global certified master image consultant, celebrity stylist, luxury branding expert, and podcast host who has spent nearly 2 decades helping high-level entrepreneurs, executives, and professionals step into their most powerful and authentic selves. Her work goes far beyond fashion. She helps people craft a personal brand that commands attention, builds confidence, and opens doors. She's been featured in top publications, works with clients around the world, and hosts her own podcast, More Style, where she shares insights on image, influence, and leadership. Today, we're diving into a conversation about how your image impacts your leadership, why presence matters in business, and how aligning the way you show up can transform not only how others see you, but how you see yourself. I'm so grateful to have Celeste here today. Celeste, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me on the show today, Dave. I appreciate you. Giving me the space.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to take everybody back, you and I met, we were both speakers at Brandon Godoris's wonderful event, A to B Con, a couple months back. So that was our initial meeting. And I'm curious now to know, was I dressed okay that day?
You were great. I love what you were wearing. It was, it really truly fit your message. And I think that's really important.
Yeah. And, before we dive into that stuff, I'm just so intrigued with everything that you do and bring to the table and how leadership really does just tie into it, because your image really is everything. But before we get started, I just want to tell everybody, and I want to say thank you to everybody who has bought the book. My new book is out, 30 Lessons to Lead, which we just launched on pre-sale. And I, again, just want to say that I'm so grateful for everybody. You can grab a copy at daveregina.com. And Celeste, thank you for traveling out here. I know you are based in Texas, but you do a lot of traveling. I had the honor and privilege of seeing you yesterday, right, for your podcast.
Yes.
And now today is your birthday. So I just want to say happy birthday to you, and thank you for joining us on your birthday, because you could have been like, Dave, kick rocks, bro. It's all right, but thank you so much.
Thank you again. Honestly, I just love saying yes to opportunities. When I started doing that, I would say like 2 years ago, my trajectory in my business just really took off. I got into rooms that I never thought I would get into. I met people I had no idea that they would be such great connections. And truly, it's been magical. And so now I just try to say yes. So you invited me here and you're like, hey, do you want to be on the show? You're here for a couple days. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm the same way. And it's a gift and a curse, I think, because, saying yes to everything is kind of how I've gotten here. right? And now I'm at the point where I'm saying no to certain things that maybe don't align with the message, and I'm being a little bit more conscious. But what I've seen online, and I don't know if this is what you've seen as well, sometimes people miss that, and they think that they should say no a little bit more than they actually should. I got into a debate actually online with a gentleman because he was promoting something saying, hey, this is the, I don't know, $100,000 coach per month, and this is the $10,000 coach per month. And the 100,000 doesn't take calls, and they know who I am. But I'm like, the 10,000, you got to start somewhere, and you have to be willing to do things for free to build your business, which is something that I've done. I'm sure you've done as well, just to get into those rooms. So do you see that as well?
Yes, I've done many forms of giving service without getting money.
Right.
But honestly, some of those yeses, some of the things that I've done have been huge for me. So yes, I agree that I don't say yes to everything if it's not in alignment with me, and I knew this was obviously in alignment. Meeting you was like, love your energy, love your message, and I feel so grateful to be here. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
So let's rock.
All right.
So you've been able to build an incredible career now as a master image branding stylist, right? It's like all these things that you typically don't really see on a day-to-day basis, right? And what I mean by that is like, it's not exactly a typical career that you hear of, being a stylist. How did it come about for you? And I guess, what was your first like walk into fashion where you were like, okay, one, I like fashion. So give me 2 moments where you like fashion. And then when you were like, this could be a business for me.
The first moment I realized that I love fashion, I was probably like 10 or 11. At that time, honestly, I used to get bags of hand-me-downs from people within my mom's community. I don't remember who they were. I was a kid, but I used to go through these bags, and I was like, oh my God, this is cool. And I would create all these cool outfits. And then when I moved to Boca Raton, Florida at the age of 11, our family didn't have a ton of money, but we were living in a very affluent neighborhood. And I remember going to the mall for the first time where all the big brands, and I didn't know what those were at the time, but I was just like a kid in a candy store, and my eyes were just really wide open. And my mom took me shopping one day, and she says, okay, we're going to get school clothes, go pick out a pair of jeans. So I bring her back these white, I remember the name of them. They were this company called Edwin, and this is aging me because I don't even know if they're around anymore. They're a white pair of jeans, and I was like, here, Mom, like, here they are. She's like, she looked at the price tag. It was $70 for a pair of jeans in 1988. And she was like, oh, hell no, go put them back. She says, if you want these, you need to go babysit, make money. And that's exactly what I did. So I just knew, and it wasn't about the money for me. Even still to this day, I will never look at a price tag before I check out the garment. So I will go over to an item in a store. I'll look at the color. I'll look at the fabric. I'll feel if it's good quality. I'll look at the stitching. And then if that interests me or if I feel like it's good, then I'll look at the price tag. It's just kind of how I've always been. So for me, if there's value in something, if I can get more wear out of an item, if I know that there's a purpose for this and it's going to, if I find that it's valuable, then I'll purchase an item. So, but as far as the business, that second question, when I knew this was going to be a business, actually it wasn't really me that figured it out first. It was my mom. She, after I graduated college, I was going to go to law school, and then I decided, I was like, this is just not for me. I don't want to spend another 3 years, all this money, and really probably not love what I do. And so it was the first time I actually asked myself, what did I want to do in my life? What was I passionate about? What did I feel that I had some purpose? And as I was discovering these things and kind of, well, what do I like to do? And my mom sat me down and she says, I've got it. Why don't you become an image consultant? I was like, what's that? And looked it up, and I was like, well, people get paid to dress people and make them look good and feel good. Sign me up.
Absolutely.
So I flew to New York, got certified, trained. It was like 10 days of solid training. And then through this organization, as international organization, I got certified. And I was like, wow, this is it for me. Like, I'm a business owner. I'm like, I get to do these things. But honestly, it still didn't take off then. So it was probably the beginning of the career, but there were still lots within those years to really figure out.
So mom was very influential when it came to this, which is ironic. And mom's a Jewish lady, right? Correct?
So mom's not a Jewish lady.
Oh, okay.
Celeste, I converted in 2001.
Okay.
So that's a whole nother conversation.
Okay, a whole different conversation.
But
okay.
Typically, all my family, they're in medicine,
Okay.
And that was really like
I was going to say it has to be something about the Jewish women, because the Jewish women in my family are very fashionistas, if you will.
I love it.
And like my mom, the one lesson that she taught me on top of resilience. So mom is in recovery for 7 years now. Okay. And she's, my inspiration and my best friend. We had a rough relationship growing up, but we, are closer than ever now. But the one thing that she instilled in me was how important it is to present yourself properly at all times. And my grandmother was the same way. My aunt is the same way. So I didn't know if there was that correlation there. And mom, too, she always was able to make something out of nothing when it came to fashion. It was never about a price tag. It was always about the fit of something. And honestly, like, she used to wear things that at the time I was like a little embarrassed of. Like, I remember she would wear these clogs, and I don't know if she's listening to this,
Those
Mom,
were popular.
but they were so embarrassed. I used to make her take them off when she picked me up from school. And, she was just always this just vibrant person, that just larger than life character when it came to fashion. And she still is to this day. But I'm curious. So as you're talking to me, you're making eye contact, but you're kind of looking at my garments. Am I approved for
oh my
this
God,
conversation?
I was only discussing fabric, so I just was looking at a shirt like I would look at something. So
no, it's so good.
Oh my God.
No, but I think it's so important. And you kind of went, you skipped a little bit. So at A to B, you shared something that I'm sure is a major part of your story. You were a dancer in college, correct?
I was.
You danced your way through college to pay for college? Is that
Yeah, so
accurate?
the type of dancing is stripping. So
Okay.
let's just
Yep.
be real. Like, yeah, I also was a dancer through college, but like jazz, ballet, modern, hip hop.
Oh, got you. Okay.
But yes, through college, I went through a divorce, and it was the first time I needed to come up with $2,000 in 48 hours.
Wow.
I was living in Las Vegas, so it's kind of like a culture, I want to say, where it really is not a bad thing. I think it's very common. And at that time, I knew a woman who worked at one of the clubs. And so I was just like, I panicked. I was like, what am I going to do? My parents didn't have money. I was a college kid. Like, none of my friends had money. Everybody was broke. And I knew that for me, my education was one of the most important things in my life. And nothing was going to stop me from getting my degree. And yeah, so I bit the bullet, if you will, and decided that this was going to be very temporary in my head when I started. And it felt very, very uncomfortable at first. I was like, okay, I can just put on a mask, like a facade, and be this other person to do what I needed to do to survive so that I could continue going to school. And then I would take off the mask, and it got heavier and heavier, working there longer and longer. And, I personally was like, okay, I can work 2 days every 2 weeks and make enough money to pay my bills. So for me, it was never like, oh, I need a Benz, I need a Chanel bag, not yet, not that time.
Yeah.
It was just very like, okay, let's just do what I need to do so I can go to school. But I didn't quit right away after I graduated because the money was good. And I didn't still know what I was doing. So this was that time where I was still like, okay, well, I have a little bit of time because I'm still making money. So it was definitely weighed on me, and it took years to kind of unpack all of that, to be honest.
Yeah. So one, thank you for sharing that. And I think it's an incredible piece of the story that like needs to be told, needs to be heard, because, I even have women friends of mine, I guess more in the past, But whether it's entertainment, like stripping, dancing, or bottle service, it's all the entertainment industry. And a lot more women than you believe are doing it for purposes that are unseen, taking care of their young children, trying to put themselves through school. Again, I think, culture and society shows us that, it's just all about the making money. But there are real women out here that are trying to solve their everyday problems by having a job like that. So I just want to make that part clear. Were you able to correlate any level of confidence during that time? Because it must be hard to get on a stage, whether you have clothes on or not, right? And be confident in a time where you said you were going through a divorce, so you got married young.
I did. I was married at 21, got divorced at 22. We were only married a year and a half.
Okay.
We dated in high school, and I realized that I didn't love the man. He loved me. I loved him for the stability that he created for me in that time of my life when I didn't have stability. So, but I realized very early on that I'm like, this does not feel right. He was very controlling, very Italian guy, very domineering, and you can't put me in a box. I'm not a box woman. I think outside the box. I'm very creative. I have a big personality, and I love who I am, and he was stifling that. And so I know that I needed to end the marriage. So yeah, too young to be married. My brain wasn't even fully developed. And it would have been nice if my parents would have been like, maybe you shouldn't get married at 21. Maybe you still have a lot of life to live and learn and do the things. And
you think you would have listened?
So this is the thing. No, I don't think I would have listened, but I would have heard her. I would have heard my parents. And I had this conversation with her today, and she goes, well, I felt like I would have been a hypocrite. I got married at 18. And I said, you're the perfect person to say, look, this is what I experienced. You saw me and your father get divorced. You just see the things. And she says, you wouldn't have listened. I said, you're probably right. But I would have heard you, and maybe I would have said, maybe I should look at this a little bit differently than I am. So anyways, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but it's one of those moments I wished my parents would have voiced their opinion.
And now today, and again, I've only met you a couple times, but every time I see you, whether it's online, in person, you're always dressed to the T, very professional, never overtly sexy, if you would. Is there any correlation there at all, or am I off on that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been doing a lot of self-work in the last I've done it over the years, but I'm working with someone right now, and there is a correlation for sure with not just my worth as a woman, not being valued just by my body and not by the things that I could please men for money, for worth, all the things that I thought were the answer. So there's a fine line for me. I'm completely in a different position right now. I can wear a sexy dress for me being my age and feel very comfortable. I do still have a great body. I work hard at it. But I'm not overly sexual dresser. Even then, I probably wasn't. I was forced to kind of dress that way a little bit more. But then there was a period when I quit dancing and went the opposite way, where I was covering up, not wearing color. I didn't want to be seen. I was I went the opposite direction. So I was, obviously, people couldn't see who I was then. And so the reason why dress is so important to me is because I get to express actually who I am authentically. I don't have to do it for you or him or her or whoever. I get to do it for me now. And so it's more empowering.
Yeah. And I love creating the backstory in my head, right? And I know it's great for the listeners, obviously, to get to know you. And that's why I'm going back to eventually move forward to help everybody with the image. But it's so good to understand the person behind what makes you this expert and this thought leader in this space. And I think real experience is what does that, right? Degrees are cool. They are. But I know a lot of people with some fancy degrees that just because you got the degree, they think they're the expert. Whereas real life experience, I believe, is what makes you the thought leader in the space. Parenting journey. So you have a daughter that's in college?
She's 18.
She's
she
18.
just graduated high school.
Okay.
And she's taking a break.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So she got very burnt out.
Yep.
She went through 3 different high schools. First high school is when we moved to Austin from Hoboken.
Okay.
And she basically went from a small town, well, Hoboken's not a small town, but a smaller school, knew all the kids since kindergarten. And then we moved to Austin, and there was like over almost 4,000 kids at this school.
Yeah, they're huge schools in
And
Texas.
she was like, woo, party. Like, no infrastructure, teachers. After COVID, I don't know what happened, but it was a mess. Yeah. And so I tried to pull her out, and then we went to a very rigorous private school.
Okay.
So complete opposite of the spectrum. And they were very Ivy focused. And that wasn't also really our journey or her wants or needs.
Yep.
But I thought it would be a great education for her. And while she did really well, that last year, her senior year, the whole school, like half of the school was let go because if they weren't getting into Ivy, they didn't want them in the school.
Wow. Okay.
And they had the ability to do that because they were private.
Private, right.
So anyhow, her last year was online. She graduated with honors. I'm very proud of her, but she's like, I need a break.
Good for her.
So I'm not sure what that looks like for her right now, but she gets the chance to explore that.
Beautiful. Now, what was the relationship with her father growing up? Was it two-parent household, single parent?
I've been a sole parent from day one. So her father, I think, was there for the first month of her life, and then he sporadically maybe saw her like 5 times. I had to terminate rights. He was a drug addict, and it was not just like weed. It was meth and heroin and all the things. Like he hid it very well.
Wow. Okay.
And then, so when she was a month old, he was holding her and, he pushed me, threatened me, all the things. And I said, I never experienced mama bear before. Well, mama bear came out that day. And I was like, that's it. You're going to treat me that way. You're going to probably treat her that way. So you need to get your life together, get out. And he just never did. And so for safety reasons, I just needed to terminate rights.
So through that, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Through that process, what have you learned about resilience for yourself, right? Because anybody who's listening to this who may be a single parent, I don't like to say that I was ever a single parent because I was always in a co-parenting relationship, but at a very significant moment in my daughter's life, she was about 1.5 when, I had 50 custody. And, it was hard learning, especially for a girl, right? My baby girl learning how to wash her private parts properly. As a dad, learning how to untangle her hair and brush her hair and, try to put her hair in certain hairstyles that, she still doesn't like to this day because, whether it's my girlfriend doing it better or it's her mom doing it better, obviously women are a little bit more comfortable. So her and I really went through this journey together and taught me a lot about just, reinvention and resilience. So I'm curious for you in that space of really just a month old, what did that teach you? And you may not have known back then, but now looking back, what did you learn about yourself during those times?
It was probably the most difficult time in my life where I was so happy being a new mom. I love being a mom. It's truly the greatest gift in my life that I've got to, experience. And there was no other option. There's not like, oh, if this doesn't work, maybe I'll do this. This is like, we're going to make this happen. I'm going to raise this beautiful human. I get to do all these things with her. I get to be with her. I get to give her this beautiful life. And my family was involved. The other side wasn't involved. They completely shut. They didn't want to be part of her life either, I guess. But my family was very much involved. And I think what it solidified for me is that anything is possible when you're like, you can do anything. I think that for me, I truly believed in knowing that no matter what, we were going to be good.
Well, you did that.
Yeah.
Definitely have. And I'm sure your relationship is a beautiful one. I mean, I'm sure you guys fight. Listen, I know. I'm sure that's a thing. But I think looking back, even as your daughter continues to grow, she's probably so grateful and thankful for the life that you've been able to provide her with. So kudos to you for doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
All right, let's help some people. Let's talk about, I guess, presence, first impressions,
Yeah.
confidence. So, what would be your take of the power of presence, right? What does that mean to you? And what is this statement, I guess, when you first lay eyes on somebody from your expertise,
Yeah.
right? What's that thought process look like?
Well, let me just give some statistics because everybody loves statistics,
Yep.
if I can talk today. 55% is the way that we look,
Of the first impression.
first impression.
Gotcha, okay.
38% is your body language, and 7% are the actual words that come out of your mouth.
Ooh. 7%.
7%.
That just hit me like a ton of bricks. And here's why. So I just gave a very large speech. Right, we were talking about it yesterday down in InvestFest. I did well. I didn't think I was phenomenal. I think that like my presentation at A to B was probably better. Right.
Okay.
But in front of that many people, I wanted to like really, lay it down for them.
Okay.
I felt like I didn't. And I know that I could have been better. And your words, although they may have not been the best, my presence was very strong. And what ended up happening is all these different opportunities, people started coming up to me, which made me think, wait, were my words good and I just thought? But maybe my words really weren't that good, but it was the statistics of, the way that I actually carried myself that made people think that I was better than I was, maybe? I don't know.
So you're building trust or you're not building trust from it's 3 seconds. And the first thing that we notice is color. And color sends messages. Every color. This charcoal gray is professional, incredible. Peach, I don't really know right now. This is a shade of peach. But, white is pure, right? Blue is the most trusting color. So were you wearing navy blue?
I was.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So automatically, think of the big banks. They all have blue in them, except for Wells Fargo. I don't know what.
TD Bank, they're like
Yeah,
green.
TD's green.
Yeah.
Green means growth and
I was going to
prosperity.
say,
Yeah.
my favorite colors, not that you're asking, but
Please tell me.
to wear are black, just because of like presence, dominance, leadership.
Okay.
And then green. And green for me represents growth, renewal, and money.
Yeah.
Right. So I like wearing those two colors. And a lot of people tell me don't wear black all the time, but like I wear black all the time. So I wanted to like switch it up for you. So that's why I'm white.
Okay.
But they say with the light sometimes don't wear white, right? Is that accurate?
It depends on your background too. Like if you're white, I mean, you do have some depth to your coloring, so you're okay.
It's the Sicilian skin, if you will.
Yeah, love it.
But not to take you off track. So go back to those statistics. Statistics are powerful.
I want to tell you a little bit about what black means, though.
Okay.
So black is obviously elegant and chic, right? It is a commanding color, but it also doesn't allow you to be remembered. So it allows you to stay in the background. So black recedes. And look at a lot of photographers, videographers, right? Hairdressers are all wearing black because they don't want to be the center of attention. So if you want to command presence in a way that's like, maybe you need a little extra like authority, you're going to wear red. But don't wear too much red. Like if you wore a full red suit, it's too much.
It's loud.
Yeah, it's very loud. And some people, they're not going to come up to you because they're too like, it's too much. So know your audience, and know your message is really important. But yeah, those statistics are really huge because if you can master 7% and all the rest you have figured out, game changer.
Let's figure it out for people. From your perspective, what are 2 or 3 things that people should do to improve their first impression amongst others?
So before you leave the house or get in front of the video camera, whatever you're doing, check your presence, like your grooming, or like, if you have a beard, make sure it's like trimmed, just all the things, make sure.
boy.
And I say this too because it's interesting. Like I've been to networking events where people have bad breath or BO or like their clothes are wrinkled or they've got a hole in their garment. Like all of that says you're unprofessional. The way that clothing fits your body is huge. The color, right? The fabrics even. So certain prints, like if you're speaking on stage, you want to stay away from prints. You want to stay in solids. They're your best friend. And you don't want to wear like metallics because it's too shiny. It's like distracting. So think about like with those statistics, you're on stage sending your message. You prepared for it. You're spending time. You're wanting to provide value to your audience. You don't want them to be distracted. And vice versa, they're coming to see you. So make sure that all of your outward appearance is sending the message that you want to send before you open your mouth. Because as soon as you did give your speech, oh yeah, I already knew that about you. Yep, boom, 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 tick, 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 right? And that's probably why you got so, not to say your speech wasn't great, because you're probably harder on yourself than,
absolutely.
than you're made out to. So I'm sure it was great. But that being said, just I think when you pay attention, so like go in your wardrobe and take anything out of your closet that you haven't worn in 2 years. Because listen, all of these items are holding space and energy. And if it's not for the version of you that you're living in right now or want to live in, take it out.
Ooh, talk to me. Directly to me, because I'm struggling with this for whatever reason. I don't embody hoarding like to that level, but there's something. Dave Virginia is very neat. My car is neat. My office is immaculate. My house is immaculate. But sometimes in my closet space, it's a little distracting in there. And I almost like throw things in the closet, close the door because the exterior looks clean. So I was able to dive into like therapy and realize that there's like a little issue there with that, right? Because the exterior is very clean, but internally my junk drawer is a little junky, like my closet's a little messy. Again, not like disheveled by any means, but a little messy. It's hard to throw things out, and I don't know if anybody listening to this can relate, but I've been trying to, I guess, adopt the mindset even of like donating items and things like that. You have any tips for people like me who struggle with, throwing things away or maybe hoarding to some level?
So what is the attachment for you to give away a piece of clothing, for example?
I think it's going to come back in style. Like, I think... I have a bunch of, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but plaid shirts because the fall is coming up.
Okay.
But like the reality is I probably wear one red one every year. And then the gray one goes, I have like a one with all these fall colors, these browns and stuff like that, which I've literally, and I got them from Old Navy, I still remember. And I really like them, but like I don't like the way that they really look on me. But I'm like, they're gonna pop. I know they're gonna come. They're gonna come. So I just don't throw them out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that...
You already answered your own question there. You're like, I don't really like them, but they're going to come back in. Why would you even wear it if it came back in fashion if you don't like them?
Right.
So I think what I do with my clients is I have them journal when they do this closet detox. It's like the first thing you do when you get to work with me. And I want you to understand like the process. It's like much deeper. Why are we holding on to things? Okay, one, it's like, okay, that's a first, but I think it's probably more than that for you. It's probably like I spent money, I don't want to give it away, right? I feel like I worked hard for this, or it was a gift, or there's a memory attached to it. So a lot of people like, oh, that was such a fun time, or I looked so good in these jeans and I'm going to get in those jeans again. Like most women have a skinny pair of jeans and then we have our fat pair of jeans. It's just what we do. But why would I go in there and look at those skinny pair of jeans if I'm in a different place and body? Why would I go like torture myself every day? Take them out. Like that's not going to give me motivation. That's going to do the opposite. So I'm going to make space for things that actually make me look good. They make me feel good. They give me good energy, and they're for the version of me that I want to live in. So not the past version, not the future version, like me now.
You're going to be my accountability partner.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Let's do it.
For 2 years or so, I've been wanting to do this closet haul. I'm doing it.
Do it.
And then I'm also nervous that I got to buy everything again. Right? Because I feel like I'm going to throw everything out because I literally wear the same 7 shirts and 4 pairs of jeans. And my girlfriend is like, what is wrong with you? Like you have 1,000 shirts and, 50 pars of pants. Shoes I'm never getting rid of, so that's out. I'm sorry.
Well, you don't have to. If you wear them.
CV knows. We got sneaker addictions, shoe addictions here.
Love it.
That also stems from my mom, but that's a separate issue. Feet always have to be appropriate. But yeah, with the clothing, I just need. I even have like boxers now that I'm thinking about it, like that I'm definitely not wearing.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I feel comfortable that they're in there.
So there's something deeper.
Yeah, I got to do it. I got to do it. Very
There's an
interesting.
attachment to maybe there was a point or a time in your life where you didn't have a lot of things. So maybe they make you feel a little bit comfortable. So I don't know.
Yeah,
but
no,
I'm just,
I mean, I
yeah.
love this.
Anyhow, I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, no, very helpful. What would you tell somebody who may feel overlooked or dismissed in life, maybe not having the most confidence, but is there any tip that you can give them from a fashion perspective that may make them feel a little bit more comfortable with their presence?
Yeah. Well, I've been overlooked and dismissed a lot in my life. And so I understand that feeling. But I think what I could suggest to your audience here is start asking yourself, like, who are you at the core? Like, are you a loud extrovert person? Are you more introverted and observant? What do you like to do for hobbies? If you're like quiet, you want to read a lot, maybe you're not going to wear this like bright color because that's just not going to feel in alignment with your personality. And it's also going to probably drain you of energy by the end of the day. So wear softer colors, and that's okay. Like if you don't know what
does soft mean?
Soft could mean like, I mean, this is a soft color. This
Okay.
is a little bit more, it's more serious of a color, charcoal, but like versus like hot pink or bright red or bright yellow or these great greens and blues. Like I love wearing some of those colors, but a lot of people think that they need to wear certain things just because other people are or because it's trending. Please don't follow trends.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
So I've actually heard, now that you're saying that, I've heard the opposite of what you're saying, which is probably terrible advice. Like if you don't feel confident, put something on that maybe stand out and make you bold, but that's going to actually make you internalize even more because you're like, oh my God, everybody's looking at my red shirt.
Yes.
Or my bright pink. Wow. Okay.
I think what makes you feel confident and comfortable. Red is the most powerful color. Some people just add a little element of red, whether it's a woman with a lipstick or a shoe or a guy with a tie or a pocket square. You know, those are elements of confidence. So if you do want to wear a bright color, you just want to keep it, you know, smaller if that's just not truly who you are as a person. If you're softer and quieter, so like pastel colors, it could be olives, just like, you know, not as loud and bright. So it can be more muted colors. Same with fabrics. If you are, again, more introverted, don't wear like shiny fabrics because, again, you're just calling attention to you. And a lot of people are fine with that if you have that personality. Me, love it. You know, this is actually quiet for me today. I don't know why I picked my outfit. I had 6 outfits yesterday, and this is like another one, and that's all I could bring with me on this trip. So
I think you look good.
yeah. So, you know, it's just find it and then understand the meaning of colors. You can go grab a free PDF I have on color. I go through all the colors and what they mean on my Instagram and LinkedIn.
Is this more important than we think?
Yes, it's so much deeper.
Because I don't know if CV's feeling this too behind the scenes, right? Like I don't necessarily, my girlfriend has brought it out of me a little bit more. She's even gotten some of those color analysis done, and she's like,
Good.
oh, this one works with my skin. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're beautiful. It looks good on every, like that's my thought as a guy.
Yeah.
So I think, especially for the men, we don't think about colors maybe as much as we should when it comes to presence and communication and leadership. Not like this, right? Yeah, no, very interesting. How about money? I have never been one to spend a lot of money on clothing.
Okay.
I'm a big accessory guy, but I am very comfortable with a nice watch, nice pair of shoes with my Old Navy jeans on.
Okay.
Maybe talk to the people who don't like to spend money, and does money correlate to like having better fabric at all? Or is like the Old Navy, the Targets, the H&Ms, the maybe lower price point items still okay?
Of course, and anything's okay. I'm not a big person for fast fashion. I'm not. I want to save the environment.
First of all, break that term down, fast fashion, because
cool.
I'm thinking fast food, and essentially maybe the same thing in terms of all the brands that I just said.
Yes. So all of fast fashion is, you know, the quick turnaround of cheap fabrics, cheap labor, as much items as possible. And there's a problem in the world today with the amounts of clothing that is being thrown out. and not used, and it's creating piles across the world. It's a big problem, and a lot of people in the fashion industry are really it's like staying away from it. But there's nothing wrong with getting a pair of Old Navy jeans versus whatever brand you want to get. Just make sure that like you're getting use out of them, you know?
And like good quality, right?
Yeah,
like,
good quality. I mean, you can go to a secondhand store. I know a lot of like the
Yep.
teenagers are doing that. My daughter was like, they love thrifting.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my thing, but it's great for them. It's great for
Yep.
if that's what you want to do. But I would just pay attention to, I'm always a fan of quality over quantity.
How does someone detect quality in a product?
Yeah, it's a great question because while this shirt is custom, these aren't. But feeling a fabric, it's called called the hand.
Okay.
So like I said earlier, when I go into a store, I will feel the hand, and so it's like feeling the fabric like this, like with your hand.
Okay.
If it starts to pill, or if it starts to come off, or you can feel like it's just not even going to get one wash out of it, you know that it's not going to hold up and it's crap, right? That's a fast fashion piece typically.
Now, good tip.
Yeah, so I think it's really important just to be a little bit more aware of, have a little bit mindset around clothing items. That's just my opinion. Of course, that's not everybody's
it's
opinion.
helpful. I mean, it's interesting too because a lot of these places, unfortunately, there's the whole sweatshop situation that's going on too, which I learned about in college, and I actually now feel bad as I'm saying this, remembering all of that stuff because I did a whole presentation on it. But it's just so simple, and sometimes we get lost. Like me, I'm very guilty of just running into H&M and knowing that I'm going to get one wear out of it, and then the second I put it in the dryer, it's over.
Yeah.
Speaking of the dryer,
yeah,
I have a problem with my shirts. They get I put it on medium heat. Does that mean the quality of the shirt is not good if I put it on medium heat and it shrinks to?
It's shrinking.
Yeah.
What's the fabric?
Oh.
Is it supposed to be in the
I don't.
dryer?
Yeah, so I usually read it and it says like tumble dry, low. Oh, that's probably the problem. Low versus medium. Yours shrink too, right? I think a lot of guys, Celeste, I don't know if you
have that problem.
We probably have this problem. Yeah, like the shirts get a little short.
Okay. It's very possible the fabric should not be in the dryer. The dryer is the one thing that kills good quality fabrics. It just tears them down. It breaks them down, and especially if it's not a great fabric.
How do you wash your clothes? You like air dry it?
You can air dry it. Yeah,
Really?
buy like a laundry rack and just air dry them.
You know how big my stuff is though? My stuff is going to be all over the house. You did.
It saves the fabric a little bit. You get more wear out of it.
Really?
So just be like cognizant, or put it on a very low. If you have a low heat, try that and see what happens. Or you could put it in for like 5-10 minutes to kind of get the wrinkles out, and then let it air dry.
I do have a wrinkle setting.
Okay.
So maybe that's something.
Just try it. But if it depends on the fabric too.
Yep.
But the one thing I want to say too, across the board, it's not just H&M, it's not just Zara, even the high-end stores. People are like, the fabric is oh my God, let me start over. The fabrics are less and less of quality. So Dolce, Gucci, you go in and you're like, this fabric doesn't feel like it's good quality. So another is like the feel. Does it feel like really itchy, or what's it made out of, right? If it's not natural fibers, sometimes like those polyesters, and there's all these different names now that they put into fabric. So they're weaving cheaper fabrics cheaper materials in the fabric. So it's not just the Old Navies and then H&M's. It's across the board.
It's across the board, yeah. Which is why I like if I wear high-end stuff, which I do, I tend to go more for the accessory piece. I just find it funky going into Gucci for a black tee and spending $300. Like I'm just not. I'm just not there. But I'll do it for like a nice watch or some shoes. So,
but
I don't know.
You're gonna get more use out of that.
To me, right?
Yeah.
And literally, I mean, my outfit, combined could be $50.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with that. Whereas some of my friends, they're like, dude, you're still wearing Old Navy jeans? I'm like, yeah, why not?
If they fit and you like them, like whatever. It's like
I'm talking to the expert here. So if you're okay with it, then everybody else could just be quiet.
Exactly. And I love that you're not wearing ripped jeans.
Ooh.
Do you have ripped jeans in the holes?
Wait, talk to me. Talk to me. Oh,
Okay,
I'm guilty. I'm turning red over here.
Sorry. I just had to call out a really good friend of mine wears custom suits all the time. He works for Ryan Serhant. Like he's boom, boom, boom doing his
What's
thing.
his name? Let's shout him out.
Joseph Magsaysay. And
Okay.
he's is a really good friend. He was on my show. One day he rolls up and he's got ripped jeans right on the thing and he's got this like custom blazer. And I was like, what are you doing? That is not okay. Like,
why not?
Because it looks just cheap. It looks like it just doesn't go.
But the rip didn't happen from like walking in the street. It's actually made that way.
No, but it just it's maybe if you're 20.
Oh, okay.
Like he's a 40-year-old guy. Like, come on, let's. This is a great look. Any color jean,
Okay.
It's just it's a lot more.
Well, I'll be sure to throw out those ripped jeans. What about if I'm apple picking or something? Are the ripped jeans appropriate for that type of setting or no?
Your flannel and your ripped jeans?
Yes.
You keep apple picking once a year, right? That's it.
There we go. So no on the ripped jeans and leadership. Listen, well, the one thing I will tell you, I don't ever wear ripped jeans when it comes to any level of leadership. So, I may wear them out if I'm messing around on a Saturday, just running around, but I will never like show up to a team meeting. Typically maybe I've been guilty of TV. I don't know. Probably the past, 240 episodes, I might have been wearing a couple, but I am mindful of that. What about the skinny versus the loose look these days?
So I am a fan of dressing for your body type, okay? Everybody has a vertical body type and a horizontal body type. What does that mean? The vertical is you could be long legs, short torso. You could be short torso, long legs. And you can also, did I say that right? Or a balanced body. Mm-hmm. Okay. And why does this all matter? And then your horizontal, you could be like triangle, you could be inverted T, rectangle, all the things. Because at the end of the day, you want to wear clothes that actually aren't distracting and that create a 2/3 proportion. Because when something's off on someone, I don't know what's really going on with that person, but something's not making sense. And it's all I can think about. So when you're going into rooms, right, with people, just be cognizant of like wearing things that fit your body because you're just going to drive people nuts and bananas and no one's going to hear your message.
And you're going to drive yourself bananas.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I can tell you this. I am proud of my body. I have body dysmorphia though, right? Where I still actually see myself as this skinny individual because I was skinny. We spoke about that yesterday.
Yeah.
Everyone here knows my story, so I'm not getting into that. But now what I've seen is there are times I look at pictures and depending on the shirt, I look like a refrigerator.
Okay.
Claudio's laughing back there. I do. I look very wide, and then it makes my legs look very small, almost like SpongeBob-ish. And again, I may sound like I'm being critical, but like then I'll say it to even my mom, and she's like, "Ooh, that's a little refrigerator-ish."
Yeah.
Like I look too big.
Stop.
And so even somebody who is in good shape has to be very mindful of the shirts that you're putting on. And that's why for me, I do tend to go with things that are a little bit more fitting because the second I put on something loose, like Justin Bieber or somebody who's wearing these big baggy things, for them it works. For me, it really doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work for most people. I mean, I say that too. There was another podcast I actually referenced Justin Bieber because I'm like, it's talking about like the big, oversized.
I mean, these pants are like balloons.
Yeah. It works for a 20-year-old, honestly, or someone that's in fashion, like real, like fashion. Other than that, it doesn't look good on your body. It sends so many messages. That actually sends a message that you're sloppy. You don't care. Like it's crazy what clothing and how it fits and what's the color and the fabric send, what messages they send within seconds.
I love hearing, because these are things I think we think about sporadically, but having the intention that you have with that level of expertise, I think is so helpful for people. Talk about skin tones a little bit.
Okay.
Right? Like this is, again, another thing where, shout out to Katie, love her to death, but she's like, that doesn't look good with your skin. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I like this shirt. And she's like, it's a salmon thing that doesn't look good on my skin. And I'm like, it fit my arms really good, so I got it. And she's like, yeah, but like it washes you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe give us a little context on what skin tones are all
So
about.
color analysis is first, it's understanding. We talked a little bit about understanding your personality. That's the first step. The second is your undertone, and we have an overtone and an undertone. Our overtone is like if you tan or you don't tan, or what you see from the sun. That's not the important one. This
is overtone. What I
yes,
have right now.
The undertone is what happens when you put a color up against your face. It does one of two things. If it's the right color, it's making you look younger, healthier, more vibrant. You're getting that color bouncing off of you, and it's doing you huge favors. When you don't wear the right color, the opposite, it drains you of your natural coloring. It can even send a yellow or blue hue that's clashing, and it makes you look sick or tired, or some people even like jaundice. So, and men don't typically wear makeup. They can, but they typically don't. So I think it's a little bit probably more noticeable in men, where women can, add more makeup or whatever. But still, even makeup, even hair color, when you dye your hair, if it's not the right shade for you. So then that's just the hue, the undertone. And then you have the value. So you have dark hair, and you have a lot of value in your skin as well. Meaning excuse me, I'm lighter hair color and I'm lighter skin, so I have less value. That just means I typically can wear lighter colors, and you probably look better in darker colors. Then you have the chromatic of a color, the intensity. So whether it's bright or muted, and that all depends on your eyes, hair, skin, and personality.
Masterclass right here. CV, I'm just curious. Throw that microphone on. How are you interpreting all of this behind the camera? Like, just as a man, and not I know you very well, but I don't know your thought process when it comes to fashion. How is this all hitting you?
I'm taking a lot of notes.
Right.
I already know I want to rewatch this, probably more so than not, because there's a lot of things that she's saying that is wild.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of now my behaviors of what I choose to not what I don't choose. On the fit size, fit is a thing for me, so I usually gear in that direction. But then with the colors, I know that strategically I will pick certain colors over other colors, and that's weird. And so I'm really like kind of like self-assessing now, because I don't think I've thought of it this deeply.
Right.
And this is super in depth, and it's making me like, damn, I wonder what. I know I have a blue shirt though.
Yeah,
so that's a good
it's
sign.
also telling me that I need to go with my gut a little bit more sometimes when I try things on, versus just like I have to. Sometimes if I don't love the way that my face looks, I tend to tell myself, oh, it's not about your face right now. Look at the shirt. And then I'll angle myself. And if it fits good on my arm, I'm like, okay, it's good.
Yeah.
But no, it's probably not good. And it probably is making my face look a little bit more maybe tired. Like, that's a big thing for me too. Like, I can tell when I look more tired than others. And I'm like, wait, I don't even feel tired today. Why do I look tired? So you're telling me that there's a correlation here with clothing, which is wild to me.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
And it's all specific to each person, I'm assuming? It's not like
Everybody's
one
different.
rule. We can't give us like a one color that's going to make us look young. And
I wish.
And that's why her business will never go out of business.
I love it.
That's exactly
wish.
right.
Yeah, that's getting my master's after working in this industry also for 20 years. But I absolutely love that I can help people. And it's almost like people say, well, what do you do, Celeste? An image consultant just doesn't really fit it, because it's really about you embodying the new identity of your life, right? So it's taking you from what no longer serves you, whatever that is. You could be an entrepreneur, speaker now. You could be a podcaster now. You could move up in C-suite, right? It's just you're moving and changing into this new season of your life. So let's make sure that you truly embody that, and that comes with not just your colors and knowing what's good for your body, but curating pieces that work strategically so that you can accomplish your professional goals. And then really owning that. Not going back to that version of you, because you're no longer that person.
Okay, let's walk people through this.
Yeah.
For the individual who is on the other side listening to this, walking on the treadmill, driving in their car, they're feeling, for lack of better words, meh about themselves. If they were to hire you or anybody in this industry, how do you get them from feeling meh about themselves into feeling confident?
Yeah, it's the deep dive in the beginning of really understanding not only who you are as an individual, your business goals, strategy, and then we discover all of these beautiful things about you that you never knew. Your 60 best colors, your body types, your shirts and jeans that make you feel so good because they fit well. So you automatically are just building more and more confidence by putting on the right clothes, ones that make you feel like you, ones that make you feel good. And of course, there's body language. There's making eye contact, how to shake hands, how to own a room, how to walk into a room and feel like you belong, how to speak to somebody, what's comfortable for you. So if you're more introverted or if you're more extroverted or maybe you're somewhere in between, it's really giving them the tools to accomplish those things. And so discovering all of these things, and I do some coaching and I don't like coaching, but we go through a lot of processes and where the wardrobe is changed, it's completely like working for them too. So there's no going back to what no longer served you. So at the end of the 6 months, because the sweet spot for me is 6 months. I have clients I've worked with for longer, but I noticed when I did those 3-month stints, like getting ready, getting my clients ready for TEDx stages, for brand shoots, it's been so rewarding for them and me, but I still feel like they're kind of half in. They haven't completely done the transformation. So I don't know if I answered your
So it's
question.
really you bring a lot of alignment.
Yes.
Which is a word I love. We spoke about alignment yesterday. And from what I am understanding, my interpretation of this is there's, I don't know if you want to call it life coaching, but there's a lot of life assessments that go on with this. So it's not just a fashion piece. It's a deep dive internally to then be able to express yourself outwardly. Very, very interesting. What a great business. And I think it's so needed and so just everybody and at every level. It doesn't matter if you're getting on a stage, right? Like to me, I'm even thinking of my direct team, right? I have a direct team of 25 and there's a number of them that stand out to me regardless of their role. I view them as either leaders or not leaders. And a lot of the times it's how they present themselves. And then, there's really no correlation to the title now that I think about it, right? Like I'm thinking of Claudio knows Miss Beverly McCoy, who, retired, I don't know, maybe 2 or so years ago. And she was a receptionist. Her customer service was the best that I've ever seen, but her presence, this woman, even into her 70s, dressed to the T every single day. I mean, pants always pressed, a nice fitting shirt. The colors were always on point. And she was probably the one that I viewed as a leader the most. And during one-on-ones, right, I have one-on-one meetings with my team, she would be the one that would have the most wisdom. And it wasn't because of her age. It was because of the way that she carried herself and all the lessons that came along with it. So I think anybody listening to this, whether you're a leader of, 2 or it's just your family that you're leading or you're just trying to look in the mirror and be a better leader, I think these are all things that are so important.
So do you know why you viewed her as a leader?
I mean, she is a leader, but
I would say like solely by her presence.
No, I don't.
So what that says is I take care of myself. I'm showing up. I'm respecting you. And I also can take care of you. So there's this deeper communication that's happening. She's like, I love myself. I'm caring for myself. I'm doing the things. And that's what I'm going to do for you.
And you talk about alignment. I mean, she was at work 15 minutes early, was late. At her desk, ready to work 10 minutes prior to. Every single person that walked in, regardless of any, there was a lot of death in her family throughout the years, hardship, always just putting her best foot forward and treating everybody with the kindest person. I actually wrote about her in my book, just because she's that pivotal to me. But one thing that I think always stood out about her, whether you knew her or not, besides the customer service piece, was the way that she dressed.
That's amazing.
Which is, I mean, she was a receptionist, right? Like, very important job, but she wasn't the commissioner by any means. but she carried herself as such. So I think it's just a great lesson now that I'm talking about it. Yeah.
That's awesome. She such great values.
All right, give me I guess let's talk some everyday tips for the everyday person who's really just not even mindful of this type of stuff. Where do you start? And what about the person that says, you know what, I'm just putting my clothes on, it doesn't matter, like I'm showing up.
So yeah, there's a lot of people that walk through life like that. And maybe if you just stopped for a second and said, like, I do matter and how I show up matters. So just throwing on whatever just to, like, I'm here, kind of a shit attitude anyway. But I would say, like, start looking at, like, what does matter to you? You matter. So be like the mindset, right? That's huge. It's in everything. I would say go in your closet really and see what makes you feel good. And like I said, whatever else doesn't, take it out and focus on a color that works for you too. Maybe it's a new lipstick for a woman. Maybe it's new, shoes for a guy, but like what makes you feel good? What can you do in this, what can you do right now in your life that you can start to feel good about yourself? And it could be just the little things like working out, eating healthy, like all of that is your image as well. So it's not just the clothing, it's your grooming, it's all the things. Maybe it's the extra lotion you buy for yourself. It really is just start building those daily confidence skills. And, I think that that's really important too.
Want to learn more about you as we begin to wrap up here. What are your habits and routines? You're very fit yourself, and you take great care of yourself. So what does a typical day look like for you when it comes to like health and wellness and all the self-care things?
Yeah, I'm pretty regimented actually when I'm not traveling. When I'm home, I get up, I journal, I meditate, have my coffee because can't love my coffee. So good.
Absolutely. You journal through prompts or just free?
Just free.
Journaling.
Yeah.
Okay. Wake up, this is my thought today.
Yeah, I usually like right when I get out of bed, it's like, let me do a quick pen to paper.
Grab it.
A lot of times I don't remember my dreams. And now I've been finding out that there's messaging in my dreams, obviously. But so I'm going back and understanding what I'm actually going through. So that's been really powerful lately. I do meditate for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Guided, unguided?
Guided. Well, just music.
Okay.
Just music. I usually will go work out then after that. Peloton at home, gym at home, just very easy. I work from home. And then
how long are the workouts?
A minimum of half hour to an hour. Yeah.
Perfect.
And then I do red light therapy out of my shower. So I've got like 4 panels.
Contraption that you put on, or it's
I've got 4 panels at
Wow.
home. It's called Joov, Joov, and it used to be it started with the 49ers, the athletes were using, and then they started bringing it to the public. So I've had them for about 6 years.
That's a long time.
And then I get into work. Like I just get into self work, and I get in. I've got 3 assistants. They're awesome. We go kind of through the day, and pretty like I don't eat till like about noon. I don't know, or 11.
Is it like intermittent fasting, or it's kind of works for you?
It just kind of works for me. Probably but that's like my biggest meal. And then I'm eating probably dinner, or it's not super late. I don't eat super like heavy meals. Typically when I'm out of town, everything changes for me. So I still try to get a workout. I still meditate, still kind of that grounds me. That's been really huge for me. So.
Do you think you would be able to be at this level of expertise in your life when it comes to the personal branding, fashion industry, if you weren't as regimented as you are in your own personal life?
I don't think so. So I used to be like, I'm motivated to get up and do this, and motivation doesn't last. You got to be disciplined. And I think to the level of success that I want to create and hope to leave, I want to leave a legacy. So this part of my personality is needing structure, but it's so much more than that. And I work on myself daily because I need to be in alignment and show up authentically so that I'm attracting that client, so that I'm giving my best for my daughter, for myself, for my team, all the things, right? So that's really important to me, to show up and give my all so that I can give to everybody else. Yeah. And I do the best I can.
Yeah. No, of course. I mean, I just don't think it's a coincidence by any means. I don't. I think it's very clear because the last piece that you just said about attracting the client, right? Like I'm attracted to you, to that level of service, right? Like as you've been talking throughout this entire episode, I'm like, wow, I need to dive a little bit deeper when it comes to this world, because when it comes to the leadership piece, I believe that I have that down. But like we spoke about yesterday, it's every single day, because the day that I wake up and I decide not to do the things is the day that I'm no longer a leader. Now you can do that for 1 or 2 days, right? If you need a little siesta, if you will, but you got to come back, and I think for me personally, I've gotten a lot of takeaways just from this episode. What would you, and this is a tough one, but I think about this a lot. What you mentioned legacy, right? Yeah. And I truly believe that legacy doesn't happen when you die, but legacy happens in how you live every single day. And I use that as a source of encouragement to the listener who, talks about legacy as if like, oh, when I'm gone. You're going to be remembered when you're gone for the things that you're doing today. But what do you want to tell your daughter as she continues, in her own journey? And just really talking to her, or I guess just a moment of what you would say to her at this moment of your life on your birthday, directly to her or somebody in that age with the wisdom you have today.
I would say don't listen to anybody else but yourself, because the faster you can listen to yourself, the faster you can understand and you'll get to actually the place of alignment. We have a lot of chatter in this world, especially with social media. You should do this. Like when I was growing up, you should be a doctor or lawyer. That's a great profession. That's, respectable. Anything else is like, okay, well, you're not a doctor or a lawyer. And today there's so many options out to make money, to be a creator, to own a business. And I always told my daughter, whether you go to college, a trade school, run a business, you're going to have to do something. But at least you start exploring, start trying things. There's so many amazing things in this world that I didn't try till later in life. And so I was very grateful, and I was able to take my daughter around the world with me growing up. That's one of the things I did for her. It was very important to me to show her the world, different cultures, different food, different people. And I feel like there's such a learning mechanism that happens when you travel to a place. And it's probably the greatest, she says it's one of the greatest things I did for her.
Where'd you guys go?
She used to spend summers in Israel in camp, Romania, Paris, Switzerland, Mexico, islands. I mean, we've been all over states in the United States. I can't remember all the places we've been to.
Yeah, I mean, just that alone is very impressive. Yeah. That's an amazing opportunity that you've been able to provide her with.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, and I knew that was going to be the case. So I guess I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but I would say start exploring, start learning. There's different ways to learn. It's not just traditional books. I'm a big fan and proponent of a higher education, but whatever that higher education is for you, doesn't have to be a traditional college. But the more you learn, the more you find out about different elements of the world, the more cultured you are, you'll move in spaces a lot faster.
I love that.
So if you know a little bit about art, a little bit about music, a little bit about, history or whatever that is, you can walk in a room and spark up a conversation with anybody.
And now today is your birthday, like we said
yes.
a couple times. What are you excited for this year, for your own growth, right? Like it's hard for me and other entrepreneurs that I talk to, it's hard to sit and acknowledge, all that you've been able to do. But I just want to tell you, I mean, you've done some amazing things here. And I think the wisdom that you bring and the information that is so readily accessible in your mind to be able to articulate it in such an easy and understandable way is a real gift. And I hope that you sit on that and realize not only today, but kind of every day moving forward, just how much impact you're making. But so what are you looking forward to in this year?
So every birthday, I like to choose a word. And last year was receive, because I have a really hard time with receiving. I can give all day long, But this year I really worked on receiving, and I'm getting better and better. Today is the day for me to pick my word. And I think my word is worth. I still have a lot of growth to work on in myself and to fully appreciate the worth that I have. So it's an ongoing process. Still in the muck of it, but I'm excited for this year because I'm ready for the next year. I'm ready for a year from today because that's going to be a really big birthday for me, and I have big plans. So this year's just a preparation for next year, to be honest. Yeah.
I love that. Worth. Beautiful.
Actually, you're the first person I told.
I mean, but see, this, as you were saying that, in my mind, I'm like, this is why I love podcasting. Because this absolutely wasn't on the agenda of anything. And so many things that we spoke about, obviously you have like a little bit of an agenda of what you want to talk about. But these, I think, are the most powerful moments in podcasting. And I hope today challenge somebody else to either, recommit to the word that they did at the beginning of the year, start a word for their year, clean your closet, like so many tangible things that get missed. But I think that's the beauty of podcasting. And I just want to say to you that I am so grateful for your time. Thank you for yesterday as well, right? Like I've been able to have 2 very in-depth conversations with somebody who I've only met a handful of times, but now I know you better than a lot of other people in my life just because we've had these, serious conversations.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for you.
Such an honor. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So grateful. Great conversations.
Absolutely. Let everybody know where they can find you, connect with you, and find all your services.
Yeah, sure. Most popular on Instagram, Celeste Moore Image. I also have More Style Podcast, YouTube, Celeste Moore Image, Celeste Moore on LinkedIn. So you can find me anywhere. Just send me a DM. I can send you a free color PDF too. Like if you just want to learn more about anything, just watch my videos. There's definitely content in them. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, listen, you've got the support of the No Snooze family, that's for sure. So everybody go follow, go connect, and we hope that you learned something today. So guys, as always, you could shop the latest merch at nosnoozeshop.com. Grab yourself a copy of 30 Lessons to Lead, and until next time, stop snoozing.
Get up and get after it.
And go get a new outfit.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's another Epi in the books. You can follow us on Instagram at No Snooze Podcast and leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze. Shop the latest merch at nosnoozeshop.com. Come on.